Welcome back. This is chapter 5th, TANSEN. And now I'm going to explain. You may have heard the name of TANSEN, the greatest musician our country has produced. So this chapter is about TANSEN, his life, his work. So as you all have heard the name of TANSEN, who was the greatest musician this country has ever produced, one of the greatest musicians of this country, a singer called Mukundan Mishra, and his wife lived in Behat near Gwalior. So here there lived a singer called Mukundan Mishra. The name of the singer was Mukundan Mishra, and his wife, that is, he lived with his wife, and they lived together. They lived in Behat near Gwalior. That is, this couple, Mukundan Mishra and his wife, lived near Gwalior, that is, in the Behat area. TANSEN was their only child, and this great singer was their only child. They had only one child, and that was TANSEN. It is said that he was a naughty child, and what is said about him that he was very naughty during his childhood days. Often he ran away to play in the forest and soon learned to imitate perfectly the calls of birds and animals. As he was very mischievous, very naughty, so often he would run away to play in the forest. He'd run away, he would go into the forest and would play there for hours, and there he learned to imitate, he learned to copy the sounds of birds and animals. A famous singer named Swami Haridas was once traveling through the forest with his disciples, and once another famous singer, Swami Haridas, was traveling with his followers, with his disciples, with his students. Tired, the group settled down to rest in a shady grove. As they were tired, they decided to take a rest there under a shady grove, under a shady bunch of trees, a cluster of trees. That is, a small group of trees were there, and they decided to take rest there under those trees. TANSEN saw them, and TANSEN found people resting there. Strangers in the forest, he said to himself. So he was very much amused, very much pleased to find strangers in the forest, because they were from outside. So there were a stranger there, and he found a good opportunity to have mischiefs. That is, to do some naughtiness there. It will be fun to frighten them, and he thought that it would be a nice thing, it would be a fun to frighten them, to scare them. He hid behind a tree and roared like a tiger. So what he did next, he hid behind a tree. That is, he went behind a tree, concealed himself, that is, hid his body behind the tree, and then roared like a tiger. And then he roared, he shouted like a tiger. He made, that is, he made the noise of tiger, the sound of tiger, say. The little group of travelers scattered in fear, but Swami Haridas called them together. The group that was resting there under the trees, they were scared, they were frightened, and they ran here and there. They ran about the place to protect themselves, to save themselves, to save their lives. But Swami Haridas was not at all disturbed, was not at all afraid of it. Rather, he called all of them together. He said, please come here, not to be afraid of the thing. Don't be afraid. He said, tigers are not always dangerous. And he replied, he told them, he assured them that all the tigers are not dangerous. Let us look for this one. And he said, let's look for this one. Let's check this one. Let's find out this tiger, where it is. Suddenly, one of his men saw a small boy hiding behind a tree, and suddenly one of the strangers, one of his disciples, found a young boy or a small boy hiding behind a tree. There are no tigers here, master, he said, only this naughty boy. And he informed Swami Haridas that there were no tigers, only this boy was hiding behind this tree and was doing mischief, or was roaring like a tiger, was making the sound of tiger, and this way he informed his master. So Swami Haridas did not punish him. He went to Tansen's father and said, your son is very naughty. He is also very talented. I think I can make him a good singer. So Swami Haridas was not annoyed, was not angry with Tansen, the young Tansen. He went to, instead of rebuking him, scolding him, he went to his father and said to him that his son was very naughty. He went first, he complained, say in the voice of complaint, he said, your son is very naughty. But at the same time, he appreciated the talent he had. He said that he believed he could make him into a good singer. Tansen was 10 years old when he went away with Swami Haridas. So, as father was convinced, father realized that Haridas was a great master, and that he could really improve on the talent that he found in Tansen. So he allowed Haridas to take him away. And when Tansen moved out of his house, he was merely 10 years old. He lived with him for 11 years, learning music, and then going to Swami Haridas ashram. He stayed there for long 11 years and learned the art of music. That is, he learned the lessons of music there and became a great singer. And thus, practicing for 11 years, he became a great singer. At about this time, his parents died. So Haridas helped him become a great singer, and then when it was time for him to take leave of his master, that is to that is to leave the ashram because his say lessons on music was over. He had completed the course, say, so he had to return. But by that time, by the time he had to leave for his home, there came the information, or say, he came to know that his parents had died. Mukundan Mishra's dying wish was that Tansen should visit Muhammad Ghosh of Gwalior. So, at the time of his death, Mukundan Mishra, that is Tansen's father, had expressed his desire that his son should go to Muhammad Ghosh of Gwalior. Muhammad Ghosh was a holy man. He was a holy man, he was a saint. Mukundan Mishra had long been devoted to him and often visited him. He had been his devotee, he had been his disciple, and he often a follower of, say, Muhammad Ghosh, and he often visited him. While living in Gwalior with Muhammad Ghosh, Tansen was often taken to the court of Rani Mriganayani, who was a great musician herself. So while he stayed with Muhammad Ghosh in Gwalior, Ghosh often took him to the court of Rani Mriganayani. This queen was a great musician herself. There he met and married one of the ladies of the court, and there he met a lady of Rani Mriganayani and married her. Her name was Hussaini. The name of this lady with whom Tansen got married was named Hussaini. Her name was Hussaini. Hussaini also became Swami Haridas' disciple. She, Tansen's wife, too became the disciple, became the follower, became a student of Swami Haridas. Tansen and Hussaini had 5 children who were all musical, and they, that is Tansen and his wife, the couple had 5 children altogether, and all of them, all the 5 children were very musical. Tansen had by this time become very famous. Sometimes he sang before Emperor Akbar, who was so impressed by him that he insisted Tansen should join his court. And so his children, all the 5 children were very musical, and now by this time Tansen himself had become very famous. He had gained a lot of name and fame by that time. Sometimes he went to King Akbar's court and performed before the king. The king was so impressed by his talent that he insisted, he requested, say, or he asked him to stay back. That is, he asked him to become a part of his court. Tansen went to Akbar's court in 1556 and soon became a great favorite of the emperor. So, honoring the king's words, he joined the court. He became part of King Akbar's court in 1556, and very soon, that is, within no time, he became the king's great favorite. Means he became a most favorite of all the courtiers. Akbar would call upon Tansen to sing at any time during the day or night. He was so much influenced by his music. He was so obsessed with his music, his love for Tansen's music was so great that he would not hesitate to call upon him, did not hesitate to send for him, call him to his place at any point of time, whether it was day or night. Even sometimes he would be given a call to come to his place at night. Quite often, he would just walk into Tansen's house to hear him practice, and his love for his music, his obsession for Tansen's music was so great that he would even walk up to Tansen's home to see him practice. He also gave him many presents, and he loved his music so much that he often presented him with rewards. Some of the courtiers became jealous of Tansen because of this growing stature of Tansen, because he was getting so much important to the king. He became so favorite of the king that the other courtiers became jealous of him. That is, they became envious. They started to feel that he was getting more importance. He was receiving more importance from the king. So they started to grow this feeling in them. Now, we shall never be able to rest until Tansen is ruined. And then they said, or they declared, that is, they announced that they could never rest, they could never lead a comfortable life, they could never sit back comfortably till Tansen's downfall was caused. One of the courtiers, Sokat Mia, had a bright idea. So as all the courtiers, or say the most of the courtiers have the same idea. So one of their leaders one Sokat Mia was there, and he came up with a bright idea. He came up with an excellent idea. Let us make him sing Raga Deepak, he said. So what was the idea? So he said, let us make him sing Raga Deepak. That is, let us ask him to sing Raga Deepak. How will that help us? Asked another courtier asked him. In what way that would be of any help, of any use to them? If Raga Deepak is properly sung, it makes the air so hot that the singer is burned to ashes. So the planning was to make Tansen sing Raga Deepak. And they knew it well that if this raga was sung the air would become so hot that it would burn the singer to ashes. That is, it would burn the singer. TANSEN is a very good singer. If he sings Ragadipak, he will die, and we will be rid of him. So they knew it well that TANSEN was a good singer, he was a great singer, and he was capable of singing Ragadipak, and if he sang it, he would die, and as he was gone, the trouble from their life was gone then. That is, the trouble was the cause of discomfort for them was TANSEN. And if TANSEN was gone, if he was dead, then the trouble of their life was gone. So they could again gain the importance from the king. They would become, or they could become, king's favorite then. Shaukat Miah went to Akbar and said, "We don't think TANSEN is a great singer." So, as per the planning, Shaukat Miah, who was the leader of the group, who was the leader of the courtiers that were jealous of TANSEN, so he went to King Akbar to ask him. That is, he had certain planning in his mind, and he wanted to make King Akbar ask TANSEN to sing Ragadipak. So with that thought in mind, he went to the king and asked him and said him that we don't believe TANSEN was a great singer. That he is a great singer. He's not a great singer, he said. He's not a great singer. Let us test him. Tell him to sing Ragadipak. So he said, well, we don't have this faith. We don't believe it. That he's a great singer. If you consider him to be a great singer, then he should be able to sing a Ragadipak, the difficult raga, a very difficult raga. And if he had sung, so that would be the evidence, that would be the proof that he was a great singer. So all the doubts would be gone. Only the greatest singers can sing it properly. And he further added that only the greatest singers can sing this. And if he can sing it, so that would prove him to be a great singer. Of course, he can sing it. TANSEN can sing anything. Akbar said, okay. So Akbar was confident of it, and he said, of course, he can sing it. He had the confidence, so he said he can sing it. TANSEN can sing anything. He said he can sing anything. Nothing is impossible for him, and that he knows everything. TANSEN was afraid, but could not disobey the king. Okay, so the king expressed this idea. He said, you'll have to sing Ragadipak. This frightened TANSEN, but could not disobey the king. But he could not disobey. He couldn't say no. He couldn't refuse king. So king, very well, my lord, he said, but give me time to prepare myself. He said, okay, my lord, your majesty, it's all right. I will sing, but I need some time to prepare myself for this. TANSEN went home. He had never been more downcast and unhappy. He reached home. At home, he looked very unhappy. He looked very upset. and he had never been so upset, so distressed. "I can sing the raga," he told his wife, "but the heat it gives off will not only set the lamps alight, it will also burn me to ashes." He said, "I can sing." He said to his wife that he could sing it, or there was no trouble singing it, but the problem there was that the heat it gives off, the heat that it emits, that is, the heat that would be produced as a result of singing this raga would not only alight, would not only light up the lamps, but it would also burn the singer, that is, it would burn him to ashes. Then he had an idea. If someone sings Raga Megha at the same time and sings it properly, it will bring rain. Perhaps our daughter Saraswati and her friend Rupavati could do it, he said. Okay, so as he was expressing his fear, an idea came to him. It was about how he could save his life, how his life could be saved. He said, if someone sings Raga Megha at the same time, if someone could sing Raga Megha at the time he sang Raga Deepa, and if he could sing it properly, it will bring rain. That would bring rain. So while he was singing Raga Deepak, if someone else was singing Raga Megha, in that case, and if Raga Megha was sung properly, then in that case it would bring rain, and rain would extinguish fire. It would bring down the temperature of the air, and so his life would be saved. Perhaps our daughter Saraswati and her friend Rupavati could do it, and he realized that his daughter Saraswati and her friend Rupavati, these two girls, could do it. I taught the two girls to sing Raga Megha. He said he taught them how to sing Raga Megha. They practiced night and day for 2 weeks. Tansen told them, you must wait till the lamps start burning and then you start singing. So he gave them practice for 2 weeks, night and day, and they had mastered it. He told them, you must wait till the lamps start burning. He instructed them. He told them when to start singing Raga Megha. It was to be started when the lamps start burning. Not until there was light in the lamp that they should start singing. Only after there is flame in the lamp that they should start singing this raga. And then you start singing, and then they should start singing it. The legend goes that On the appointed day, the whole town assembled to hear Tansen sing Raga Deepak. And the story goes in that way that the whole town assembled there, gathered there to hear Tansen sing Raga Deepak. When he began to sing, the air became warm. And when he started to sing this raga, the air started to become warm. That is, the temperature of the air started to go up. Soon, people in the audience were bathed in perspiration, and because of the rise in temperature of the air, people in the audience, the people who were watching all this happening, who were following him, hearing him, they all were bathed. That is, they all got drenched, fully drenched in perspiration. That is, their clothes were fully drenched, wet due to perspiration, due to sweating. The leaves on the trees dried up and fell to the ground. Tree leaves, that is, leaves on the tree, dried up and they fell to the ground. As the music continued, birds fell dead because of the heat. And as he continued to sing, birds fell dead because of the heat, because of the excess heat the raga produced, or the air got tremendously hot, and because of this, the birds died. They fell onto the ground and died because of the heat. And the water in the river began to boil, and the river water started to boil. People cried out in terror as flames shot up out of nowhere and lighted the lamps, and people cried out of terror when they saw flames, when they saw fire shot up, that is, shooting up from nowhere in the air and lighted the lamps. That is, from nowhere flames appeared and they lighted the lamps. And as the audience found this happening, they cried out in terror. They started to shout. They became very shocked. At once, Saraswati and Rupavati began to sing Raga Megha. As soon as flames appeared, these two girls started to sing Raga Megha. The sky clouded over and the rain came down, and with the singing of Raga Megha, cloud, that is the sky, became full of clouds over that area, and there came down rain. Tansen was saved, and because of this, his life was saved. The story goes that he was very ill after this, and Akbar was sorry that he had caused him so much suffering. And the story goes like that after this he fell, after this attempt of singing Raga Megha, Raga Deepak, he fell very ill, and as he fell ill, the king felt very bad. He felt very sorry because he forced him to sing the sing the raga, and for him only he caused, or he had to go through such suffering. He punished Tansen's enemies, and after that he punished his enemies, the courtiers who were jealous of him. When Tansen got well, the entire city rejoiced, and when he became well, when he recovered from all the problems due to this, due to that, the entire city rejoiced. The entire city celebrated it. Tansen remained Akbar's court singer till 1585 when he died, and he continued to be his court singer till 1585 when he died. That is until Akbar's death. He continued to remain the court singer. He composed several new ragas, composed many new ragas. Tansen's tomb is in Gwalior. His tomb is still there in Gwalior. It is a place of pilgrimage for musicians, and for musicians this is no less than a holy site, a pilgrimage. So this is all from this chapter. Thank you all.